Yeah, I had my mom was actually texting me, someone that she knows wanted to start selling Amazon, and they were looking into something, and just like you, I kind of cringed a little bit when I heard it, not because I want to, push away, but I was like, okay, well, here's what you want to do. But the reason I cringed is because my mom said, yeah, they're just looking for something, a side hustle for a couple months. And I was kind of like, well, this probably isn't the right thing. It takes a couple months just to learn what you're doing. Even you can't say I want to make extra money now. I say that obviously we just did an interview with someone that's been selling for a long time. And sometimes you can go to a garage sale and you can find a product for $1 and flip it for $100, right? That's possible. But if you want a steady cash flowing stream of income, it's probably not something that's going to pop up in a matter of 3 months, right? And that's kind of the new seller mentality, I think.
Yeah, maybe it's just the attention span in our population in general, right? It just continues to get shorter. I had a similar conversation with a gentleman who messaged me. He was living overseas. He says, hey, I'm coming back to the US for 4 or 5 months. Can I do this arbitrage thing and make money? And I was like, nah, that's really not the way you want to treat this business. It's not a hobby. You need to treat it like a real business. And so that's, when I saw Kyle and Debbie kind of digging in, they were kind of at a decision point. Like they were a little almost depressed or discouraged. And so I had to say to them, hey, look, you need to, it's kind of like a time of, do you believe in this business model or not? And what I suggested was, let's look around, look at all the people in the Amazon seller tribe. We have over 100 members who sell $1 million a year. Right. And I said, you need to look at them and really come to within yourself if you believe this business model is right. And so they did that. Like they dug in and they said, hey, look, is this the right business model? Can we continue to make it profitable? And thankfully they did, because I think a lot of people at that point, when they think that, it's a get a quick rich scheme and then they realize that it's not, a lot of people tend to give up. And one of the conversations that I had with the wife was like, she's like, look, Andy, I could go get a job, and I could make 60,000 a year. And I said, yeah, you can do that, Debbie, but you're going to be giving up a lot of your freedom. And you're really not ever going to know if you could have made this business successful or not, because 6 months is just not enough time, right, to be able to give it. And so they did make that decision. And then they did a fourth thing that I think we see a lot of successful Amazon sellers do. They really started to invest in their education. So, they came to our Tribe 6 coaching, right? That was huge for them to be able to be around other successful Amazon sellers. They're coming now to our Tribe 8 coaching and our meetup in Kansas City. So again, they're going to be around other successful $1 million sellers, because you and I both know that you have to invest in your education, right, if you want to continue to grow.
Yeah, and I think I've shared this analogy before, but I hope it's an encouragement. It is to me, at least, like most people start building a bridge to some form of success. So they start selling on Amazon or they start some other program and they get 80% of the way. And they're like, this is just, I'm not seeing the results. I'm, kind of like Kyle was after 6 months, like it's not there. And so they go and they start a new bridge and they get 80% of the way. Then they go and they start a new bridge, right? And instead of just finishing the bridge out and, going back to your point, yeah, you could get a job for 60,000, but the ceiling is going to potentially there prevent you from realizing, $1 million down the line. And so it's definitely a long-term mindset versus a short-term mindset of investing, learning, putting in the work, seeing the results, and knowing that those first couple of years might not be the dream income, but that it's going to help you work your way towards what potentially will be later. And so I just think most people, to sum that up, give up too quick and don't have a long enough mindset when it comes to building this valuable skill set.
Yeah, absolutely. And for all of those reasons are one of the main, those 4 reasons are one of the main things that I do not, and I hate new Amazon sellers. And again, why I cringe, because at the end of the day, it really does come down to passion, how much effort, right, and emotional intelligence that this person or this couple has, and how much do they really want it. Because every business can be learned as long as you're willing to give it the proper amount of time, as long as you're willing to educate yourself. And I still say selling on Amazon, and Kyle and Debbie are a perfect case for that. There's no better time than, my phrase is, look, the best time was 15 years ago. The second best time is now. They are now going to hit over $150,000 of sales in the first year, being profitable. And then they're just going to continue to grow, right? Month after month, year after year. So that to me is super exciting.
Yeah. And I know you're just, saying a little bit tongue in cheek that you hate new sellers since you've helped so many new sellers over time. And I will say one thing I really like, we're always talking about the Amazon Seller Tribe, but it's true. Unlike almost every other group out there that truly, and I'm saying this for real now, does hate new sellers, where you go in to a group and you ask a question and you just get railed on because people are like, are you stupid? Go read, go Google it. One thing I do appreciate about the Amazon Seller Tribe is when you join it and you are a new seller, there's no negativity. You never have anyone, point out that something is a dumb question or whatever. Just telling the truth. It's the most helpful group I've ever seen for new sellers. So we're saying it, new sellers that give up, that don't follow these principles, that aren't looking at it from the long haul. Yeah, it's gonna make us cringe or make us a little annoyed potentially. But for those who are treating this seriously and working towards their goals, Amazon Seller Tribe. And Andy, I know you're saying this, but obviously through all the work that you've done over the last 10 years helping new people, you might say you hate new sellers, but clearly you've given a lot back to people over time and helped a lot of people.